Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Hello Buddy. Okay, this video I will proceed to the chapter biology SEM 3 chapter 3. Not chapter 3, chapter 1 of the Kingdom Plantae. Okay, Kingdom Plantae. So if you already see Plantae means it is will learn about the taxonomy of plant. Okay, so this video I will only explain about the characteristic of plant only. Okay, well for this part, actually I don't need to talk anymore because actually you already know. So all plants are multicellulose. Yes, multicellulose and eukaryotic. And then the plants are autotrophic because they contain chloroplasts and carry out photosynthesis. And also plants have chlorophyll pigment of chlorophyll A and B. Not only A and B also have xanthophyll and carotenoid, different from Protista. Protista only have A and B, right? Not Protista, Alga. Alga have A and B, right? Only, right? But plant have xanthophyll and carotenoid. And also why plant is green color? Because of chlorophyll. So that is why plant is in the green color. And also plant contains cell wall, and cell wall is made up of cellulose. Different from fungi. Fungi is chitin. And then the food stored in plant is starch form. Starch form. It is only starch. Okay. And then for number 7, I hold on dulu. Hold on. I proceed to number 8. Number 8 is the epidermis of plant for leaf. For plant is covered by a waxy cuticle. You all also know what are the functions to prevent the excessive water loss from plant. And then the another one is characteristic of plant is plant contains stomata and play a role in gaseous exchange in plant. Okay, number 10 is about the reproduction. Fertilized egg, when the plant is undergo fertilization, develop into a multicellular embryo and then within the female gametogonium, thus the embryo is protected. About the reproduction. Yeah, for this one is the life cycle of the plants. So plant, we all know it is reproduced sexually, and it involves life cycle of alternation of generation. This is the life cycle special for the plant. But normally, if you first time, but it is the first time you heard, and maybe you confused what is this, and you have to new terms is sporophyte generation and gametophyte generation. I make it simple. Gametophyte is yang childhood. Boleh kata childhood lah. Gamete punya. Sporocyte yang sudah dewasa lah, yang sudah become dewasa lah, sudah become adult. Saya boleh buat simple modification lah. So, but if you see this graph, maybe you don't know how it is represent. But if you remember before, for the reproduction of flowering plant, formation of pollen grain and formation of embryo set, like this. Okay, if you know how to, if you remember how to the formation of pollen grain, siapa yang menghasilkan pollen grain? If you remember, spore, right? Siapa? If you remember, it's called microspore. Microspore is the responsible for the male flowering part will produce the pollen grain. So this is the spore. So each spore has the potential undergo mitosis and develop into gametophyte. Gametophyte is what? Pollen grain. Your pollen grain is the gametophyte. If you remember, if you still remember how the spore, how to produce the pollen grain, it is actually undergo mitosis, not meiosis process. Not meiosis process. Meiosis process is the sporophyte when it want to form spore, want to form microspore, and then it will undergo meiosis. And then after they will form spore, they will form pollen grain, and form pollen grain, the pollen grain is the gametophyte. So for the flowering plant, pollen grain is the male part of gametophyte. So the gametophyte will produce gamete. Gametophyte. Pollen grain actually is not gamete. You have to know. Pollen grain actually is not a gamete. You have to know. If you know that pollen grain after pollination, they enter the sigma of the plant. It will divided become two nucleus, right? Generative nucleus and tube nucleus. Generative nucleus and tube nucleus are the gametes. Generative nucleus and tube nucleus are the gametes. Baru mereka adalah gametes. Yang pollen grain bukan gamete. That is why the gametophyte will produce gamete. This is for sperm, for male part. For female part, if you remember, for flowering plant, the spore that produce gametophyte for flowering plant is embryosette. Embryosette is the female gametophyte for flowering plant. Female gametophyte actually you have got 8 nucleus, right? Dalam ni ada 8 nucleus. Ini 3, ini 2, ini 3. Kalau tak silap. And then got 8 nucleus at there. And yang ada saya sudah lupa nama dia lah. Tapi ada 8 nucleus lah. And siapa yang menghasilkan embryosette? Megaspore. Megaspore who will produce embryosette, which is female gametophyte. And this one actually is not gamete. You have to know. This one actually is not a gamete. Gamete is the egg cell. Ini egg nucleus. Ini egg nucleus baru panggil gamete. Yang lain nucleus bukan gamete punya. Ini egg nucleus baru panggil gamete. You have to know that. You have to know that. Not embryosette. This one is not a gamete. So that's why two haploid gamete will fuse together to form a zygote. So this one gamete will fuse together and form zygote through the fertilization. And for flowering plant, is double fertilization. This is special for flowering plant only. Not all the plant will undergo by double fertilization. Some plant only just single like a human, one fertilization only. But for flowering plant, it is undergo double fertilization, right? But so this is why this here only fertilization, because this is general characteristic of plant. You have to know not all plant are flowering. Later you will know there are the classification of plant punya. Okay, after fertilization will form zygote. Zygote fertilized egg will develop by mitosis into sporocyte. Inilah yang kamu semester 2 akan belajar development of seed, development of embryo. And the development of embryo after formation of seed, and then after the seed germination process, okay, sporophyte is occur. After sporophyte, okay, and then after sporophyte inilah ini major sporophyte with flower. If you yang ini zygote after fertilization, the plant will contribute to the sporophyte generation. Yang ni adalah gametophyte generation. Hanya ini sahaja. Ini tempat yang ada involve the reproductive organ punya. After mereka buat fertilization, akan involve dengan sporophyte generation. Then these all are the sporophyte, and then after the seed germination, got plant, got leaf, got root, and then after it mature, become the major sporophyte plants with flower. This is for flowering plant only. And then got the reproductive organ already occur, and then this reproductive organ is formed by the sporophyte. There are the spatial cells. Spatial cells of the sporophyte will undergo meiosis to form the spore. This repeat lah. So that is why the life cycle of plant is called as is non-alternation of generation. Inilah. Hopefully you can understand lah. So I use the flowering plant as an example so that you can more clear. So spore for flowering plant, for male is microspore, for female is megaspore. Okay, spore this for male spore, it will undergo mitosis and then will develop into gametophyte, will produce gametophyte. For male is pollen grain, and then pollen grain is not the gamete, not a gamete yet. And then for female megaspore, it will produce embryosette. That is the gametophyte for female punya, for female flowering plant punya. And then these two pollen grain will undergo mitosis. Mitosis produce tube nucleus and generative nucleus, right? For embryo cell, it will undergo mitosis again to produce egg nucleus, egg type of nucleus. And then for nucleus, for female one, only egg nucleus is called gamete, and then for sperm, the generative nucleus, only generative nucleus considered as gamete. After gamete, the fertilization process until after the embryo, then they will form zygote. So the zygote will develop by mitosis into the spores. Inilah plant yang besar-besar punya awak tengok. Lepas tu plant ada satu bahagian spatial cell will undergo meiosis to form the spore again. And then this process is repeat and repeat again. And then for the after meiosis to form the spore until the fertilization process is called the gametophyte generation. And then after fertilization will form zygote until the plant form is called the sporophyte generation. So I hope that you can understand what are the alternation of generation means. Okay, so actually for plant actually it's easy, but maybe this one is make you confused. I hope my explanation is make you understand. If you don't understand, you can put the comment at the below. So hopefully you can scan this QR code. You can fill up any comment to me. Any improvement and the form is anomalously. I don't know who are you, but if you fill this form, I can know what are the improvement and what are the opinion, what are the comment that you watch my video. Okay, so hopefully this video presentation can give benefit to you. Thanks for watching. Thank you.